Welcome. Tonight's webinar is on how to successfully build a property rental retirement plan. My name is Dmitry Fomichenko with Sense Financial Services. I'm the founder and president, and I will be your host today. Before we bring our guest presenter, Sensei, I'm just going to take just a few minutes to give you an overview about Sense Financial and what we do. We've been in business since 2010, and we assisted over 3,000 clients, established over 4,000 self-directed retirement plans. Our clients love us. We have hundreds of five-star reviews on Google, Better Business Bureau, Yelp, LinkedIn, and Bigger Pockets. And most of our business comes through referrals. We don't do marketing and advertising. Most of it is by word of mouth. Our mission is to help our clients obtain control and protect their retirement accounts. Proverbs 21:5 says that good planning and hard work leads to prosperity. And we know that you work hard for your money, and we do want to come along your side, and we want to help you make sure that your retirement money work hard for you. And how we do that is by utilizing a self-directed retirement account. If most people, they have conventional retirement accounts that are controlled by the custodian, and custodian limits your investment options, which are confined to the stock market, stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. But self-directed IRA and 401k, on the other hand, can be invested in just variety of investment options. They call them alternative investments, such as real estate, tax liens, tax deeds, options, mortgage notes, and trust deeds, businesses and partnerships, even international real estate. You can also invest in a private business. You can lend your money out. Your IRA and 401k can be the bank. And you can also invest in conventional stocks and mutual funds as well. Just a quick example how we help people. Jason is one of our clients. He had a couple different retirement accounts valued about $135,000 that he was watching the balances, and those balances were going down. This is about 10 years ago, by the way. So he came to us, he found us online. I did the consultation for him. We set up a checkbook control retirement plan for him. He was able to invest in 3 different assets. He purchased a rental property inside of his retirement account. He invested in his brother's business, and he also lent some money as a real estate note. Immediately, his retirement account started cash flowing about $1,000 a month. And then by now, he probably tripled the value of his 401k, and the cash flow is at least doubled. So that's just to give you a flavor of what the kind of makeovers we do for our clients. Benefits of a self-directed IRA and solo 401k that these types of accounts allow you to invest in alternative assets, which means you get true diversification. Your investment returns are tax deferred if you invest with traditional or pre-tax account. And if you use Roth, then your investments are growing tax-free because the qualified distributions are tax-free. You can also use leverage to acquire real estate inside of your IRA or 401k with non-recourse financing. You get to have a checkbook control, which means you can bypass the custodian or completely eliminate the custodian in case of a solo 401k, and eliminate all the transaction-based fees and asset-based fees. And solo 401k is also a great tax shelter because it will enable you to contribute up to $73,000 per year, meaning that you can shelter that much from taxes. So a huge tax shelter. You also need to understand that while you can invest in virtually anything, there are certain limitations. You are not allowed to invest in collectibles and life insurance, and you're not allowed to engage in any transaction with disqualified person using your IRA or 401k. And disqualified person is defined by the account holder and immediate family member of the account holder. Unlimited investment options means you can invest in real estate, residential, commercial. You can invest in tax liens and trust deeds, precious metals, cryptocurrency, and you can use your retirement account as a bank and lend money to others. A true diversification, I wanted to illustrate using my daughter's cartoon. It actually goes years back. She helped me with that, and it's still as applicable today as it was back then. Man holds the basket, which represents a stock market, and the bottom fell off, and all the eggs are gone. They're broken. And wife says that, well, I thought our investments were diversified. Well, guess what? If you are invested in one asset class, that's what the stock market is, it's just one asset class, um, you don't have true diversification. A true diversification can be achieved with a truly self-directed retirement account. Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, divide your portion to 7 or even to 8, for you do not know what misfortune may occur on the earth. And you can accomplish that by using a self-directed retirement account. Well, that's a quick rundown about what we do. If you guys have any questions about self-directed retirement accounts, you can certainly contact us. We'll be happy to consult you on that. But right now, I'm going to introduce our main speaker, Sensei, today. And Sensei is a founder of the real estate education, investment, and consulting company, Black Belt Investors. He has become one of the most respected educators in the industry. And after becoming one of the top-ranked martial arts artists in the country, he discovered the huge rewards of investing in real estate of himself in 1995. So a lot of experience there. Making thousands of dollars in the first deal, he was hooked, and he scaled his investments and operations to wholesaling, rehabbing, and rental properties. Today, Sensei is a national speaker, private consultant, and active investor who has trained thousands of investors from coast to coast to generate cash and wealth through real estate. Sensei, welcome, and take it away.
All right. Thank you, Dimitri. Real quick, everybody, just make sure that give me a thumbs up if you can hear me and you can see my screen that says how to build a real estate retirement plan with my logo on it. Just let me know because I'm unfamiliar with this platform and I just want to make sure that you can see everything. So just hit that little thumbs up or there we go. There we go. All right. Well, welcome. And I appreciate Dimitri bringing me back. We've been working together for over a decade now and we've done very well together. And it's always a pleasure to come back to Sense Financial. Now, I wish he would change his business name because if you look at his name, it says Sense. But if you'd add an I to it, then it'd be my name, Sensei. So Sensei Financial sounds to me much better than Sense Financial. Anyways, before I start my presentation, I always start with a dad joke. You know, almost every morning that before my daughter goes to school, and she just graduated this year, my youngest, she's off to college this coming fall. I give her a dad joke and she just rolls her eyes, and maybe every once in a great while I get a chuckle. But I gave her one today, which I'm going to share with you. And here's my question: why are teddy bears never hungry? Because they're stuffed. I know. Roll your eyes too. I think it's funny, but I'm a dad, and those are the jokes I give. So, welcome to Black Belt Investors, where tonight you're going to be learning techniques that you need to succeed. And not only that, I love gifts. Do you love gifts? I assume that you do. So, here's what I got for you. At the end of my presentation, I have a very valuable gift for you, and I'm going to send it to you at my expense, but you must stay until the very end. So, you take off early. Sorry, you're not getting it. Stick around. You're going to love it. Okay. So, are you ready to learn how to build a real estate rental retirement plan? Well, let's get started. All right. So, there's a lot of questions out there, but here's one main question that's important to ask yourself: what holds you back from investing? I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people are nervous about investing in real estate. especially when it comes to out of their comfort zone, areas that are maybe just out of town or out of country, out of state, and possibly even out of country. I mean, people come up with excuses ranging from it's not the right time and I need more money or better credit to, you know, I'd like to be able to see my properties and next year. I mean, fear can be a paralyzing thing. I mean, it could keep people from realizing their dreams and creating the life that they want. Fear can also keep people from dreaming because they're afraid to fail. Have you really nailed down the reasons of why you're fearful to invest in real estate? And that's, of course, assuming you're fearful, because I know many beginning investors, they truly understand the basics of risk to reward. Now, the biggest question most have is where do I get the money to start investing in rental properties? Some of you sitting, online this evening, you have the cash. You have the cash that you can easily put to work, and that's fantastic. Others, have the money and just don't know what to do with it, and some might need to go out there and find it. So here's 6 places to where you can find money and begin building a rental portfolio. So let's briefly take a look at each one of these. You got retirement accounts. I mean, bingo, here's Sense Financial, right? Since this is a long-term play and this is going to be building your nest egg, your legacy, and passive income for retirement, using retirement savings accounts just makes sense. I mean, that's especially true when you see the issues with other assets you might be holding in those accounts. By rolling over your existing 401k or IRAs to self-directed plans or solo 401ks and getting checkbook privileges, I mean, you can choose to put that money into real estate. And you don't have to pay a penalty by cashing that out. And you still get all the tax saving benefits of a retirement account. So if you don't have one yet, this is a great way to invest for maximum profit. Now, Dimitri knows this, but he probably hasn't thought about this in some time. I used to run auctions. I used to buy properties at the auctions, and we've done over 6,000 properties at the auctions since 2009 to 2015. And those that had the cash, fantastic. Those that had money locked up in their 401k had to go through a custodian. That didn't work for auction property because you'd have to get basically permission and jump through the rings of fire to be able to pull your money out. But those that had check writing privileges were able to buy properties on the spot at the auction. And that's the power of the solo 401k. So make sure that you hook up with Dimitri right after this webinar presentation tonight and see how you can get access to your money. Now, you have existing equity. Some of you may already own real estate, maybe own a business with equity inside of it. And that could be your cash vault for launching rental portfolios. I mean, you can cash out, refinance a home or other properties, get a line of credit secured by it, sell assets which aren't working or possibly even peaked, or get working capital loans against the income or assets and start using it to build your empire. Creative deal structuring. Have you ever thought about this? You may not have the cash right now or have very little to put down. I'll tell you that you might find you can do more than you think. I mean, there are rental property deals out there from starting at $70,000. And if you go into other markets, you can get them less for that. Others, you may be able to put a small down payment on. And if you're willing to put in the effort, you can learn how to do no money down techniques. And you can also get out there and start finding these deals and negotiating them creatively. I mean, for me, I can't get any more mortgages. I'm tapped out. There's a maximum mortgage you can get. So I either have to use all cash or use creative lines, creative deals, and these structures to be able to acquire more properties. Now, what would you rather do? Would you rather use OPM? What does OPM stand for? Other people's money. In my world, it's other people's mortgages. Would you rather use other people's money or mortgages to be able to acquire assets for yourself and come out of pocket no money? Or would you rather use the cash in your bank? Yeah, that's what I thought, right? So that's the only 2 ways I can really do it for my own portfolio. And so there are deals out there where you can use seller financing and lease options and sandwich lease options and subject to financing, so many other techniques that basically boil down to no money down deals, which also means no income verification, no credit checks. It's fantastic. Now, here at Black Belt Investors, we have a full purchase options training camp, which will teach you exactly how to structure those deals like I'm just talking about right now. 6 different strategies that you can use so you don't have to come out of pocket, but you get all the benefits of ownership in real estate. Loans and lines of credit. I mean, credit is far more plentiful than you may think today. And the great thing about using leverage in real estate is that your tenants pay it back for you, plus your profit. I mean, you could try the banks and credit unions and mortgage brokers. However, there are more aggressive lenders out there today. That includes online platforms like SoFi and Lending Club, credit line providers like Sprout, and even PayPal. Some of these will give you anywhere from starting $25,000 all the way up to $250,000 in unsecured credit lines to use as you wish. Now, this is something worth researching. So in the past, I used to use PayPal quite a bit because PayPal doesn't check your credit. They don't look at employment. They don't do anything like that. They just look at your PayPal history and then they'll loan you money. And you don't have to pay that back every month. They'll just take a portion of it out of each transaction that you do. It's fantastic. The other way, of course, people just try to make more money for themselves. In most cases, this is a really long detour, everybody. Even if you're a doctor or attorney, it can be hard to save faster than inflation. One exception I found is with real estate, wholesaling and flipping, you can really catapult that cash vault. You can get out there and start generating your own capital by wholesaling houses or fixing and flipping them and getting some big rewards at the end. That you'll use that money and parlay it over to the wealth side by buying rental properties. Just reinvest your gains into rentals for long term. You'll never become wealthy. Understand this. You'll never become wealthy by wholesaling and flipping properties. You can be cash rich, but you won't become wealthy. There's a big difference between the two. The only way to get wealthy is to hold on to your assets for the long term. And that's rental properties. And that's why you're here tonight. Like the old adage says, where there's a will, there's a way. We all know this proverb. Proverb that dates all the way back to the 1600s. And I find that those that apply this proverb will make it, but many just don't have the will and they fall to wanting and wishing, which is not a course of action. You don't need to have to be born under some lucky star or incredible wealth or terrific contacts or have great connections or even a special skill set. But what you do need to succeed in life and your life goals is self-discipline. That's what most people lack. Unfortunately, most people give in to the 2 worst enemies of success. They take the path of least resistance, in other words, my opinion, just laziness, and or they want immediate gratification. They try it, they want it. They try it, doesn't work. Oh, it doesn't work. Nah. Can you imagine Thomas Edison saying, "Oh, I tried 1 time, 2 times, it doesn't work. You got to try over 1,000 times to get that light bulb lit up." They don't consider the long-term consequences of the actions that they take today. So here, let me give you a couple of things that will help you achieve your goals. Number 1, understand and set personal goals. Understand, set your personal goals and make the goals achievable. Don't make them like you're running, a marathon. Make it to where you can see the finish line so you can accomplish it and get on to the next one. Second, know your business and money goals. Unfortunately, most people that own a small business don't really know what's going in or going on in their small business. They don't know their numbers, they don't know their inventory, they don't know, their staff. And those that don't have a small business that, are employee for somebody, most of you don't even know what you really make. Sure, you make X amount of dollars in salary, but how much is the feds taking out? How much is the state taking out? How much is Medicare and this and that? What is it that you're actually left over with? And then what is your budget that looks like behind that? Do you even have a budget? Yeah, most people just keep it up in their head and they think they know where that, but you know what? They're doing the same thing over and over and over and over again every single year, and they're not getting any traction to anything. Make sense? Thirdly, where do you want your overall happiness? Where do you want your overall happiness? Don't find it in money. It's not going to be happy there. But where do you want your overall happiness? Paint that picture, feel it, smell it, achieve it. And I challenge you to become more disciplined in your life. Black Belt Investors tagline, look in the right-hand corner, disciplined investing. You have to be disciplined. You have to know your boundaries. You got to know when to say yes and when to say no. And it's okay to say no sometimes. And sometimes it's okay to say yes, even though that you're scared. With guidelines and discipline, you can be on the right course of action and you can learn how to be more successful in everything that you do. Instead of just wistfully envying others who think are just luckier than you. A little self discipline goes a long way. So stop making excuses. Now, there's two questions I think it is important for us to think about and answer tonight. So write these down. How can we create more wealth swiftly and sustainably? How can we create more wealth swiftly and sustainably? And how do we maximize our gains safely? With ease, for the long term sustainability, and without being a bullet sponge and taking a lot of hits. How do we do that? Well, before I go any further, you're probably sitting here thinking, who is this guy with the corny dad jokes? And why listen to him? Well, Black Belt Investors is a real estate education training investment company, which originally founded back in 1995. Yep, that super handsome guy, that's me, Sensei Gilliland of Black Belt Investors. I've been on the cover of Real Estate Wealth magazine. I've been investing in real estate for 28 years. I've invested from coast to coast. My very first property I ever flipped and purchased was over in the state of Florida while living in California. Why did I do it in Florida? Because I couldn't afford California. So I had to step outside of my boundaries to go somewhere where I can afford. I did it from Florida to California to Hawaii and all the way back. I live here in Southern California. I'm still an investor. I'm a serial entrepreneur, business owner today. And thanks to that, I now get to spend most of my time training others on how to make investing in real estate work for them. I've been in the news, on the cover of magazines, and I'm just wrapping up editing a new book. And I'm often called upon to provide insight on the direction of the market in the media. Just Google my name, and you can see lots of different podcasts I've been guests on. Over the last 28 years, I've trained thousands of investors and business owners to provide over 10,000 wholesale and turnkey properties to people just like you. Now, this is not an introduction to gloat or anything like that. It is just letting you know that I do have the experience on my side. Do I know everything? Absolutely not. And I can tell you right now, it's one of the best things that I love about real estate. I can't learn it all in a lifetime. But when it comes to flipping and creative financing and rentals and property management, then I'm your guy. The other thing I love to do is taking coach loads of investors to Cleveland and Arizona to show them how I invest and open up the doors of opportunity for them. I'm just sharing with you what I've experienced and I'm confident that I can do in regards to helping you. If you follow the system of getting on the edge of real estate investing, I'm sure you'll be well prepared in tackling your goals. Now, I'm not sure what type of things you want most or how you'd like to spend your time, but I'm pretty sure real estate can deliver on that for you if you do it right. Cash and wealth. So, we're all here to learn more about cash and wealth tonight, right? Those are two things we'd, all like a little bit more of in our bank account. I don't think we can have too much of these two things unless you abuse it. And once we get it, we certainly don't want to lose it. That can feel a lot worse than ever having to experience it at all. I mean, think about all those lottery winners that, get millions of dollars. And the next thing you know, 5 years later, they're filing bankruptcy. Ugh. I mean, you're either here tonight to either get started or really take a better leap towards increasing your income and wealth, or you already have some and want to know how to protect that and build upon it. That's great. You are already taking action by being on this webinar this evening, and nothing happens without taking action. This is such an important, exciting time to take action as well. I mean, we're in the middle of some of the biggest changes this country and global economy has seen in the last 100 years. What we do over the next few months really is going to determine the direction of our financial health for the long time to come. I have personally found and believe that real estate is one of the best ways to do just that. So why real estate? Well, for me, it offers the trifecta of benefits that is almost impossible to find in anything else. It can simultaneously provide income, capital gains, and security. And there's some pretty nice tax benefits that go along with it, too. It's a vehicle for steadily growing real wealth while enjoying income each and every month and being confident that your nest egg is safe and not like the diagram that we saw earlier from Dimitri's daughter of the bottom falling out. Plus, you can enjoy paying less in taxes while you make more. Isn't that why you're here tonight? So how do we put it all together? I mean, there's many benefits of real estate, especially rental property investing. I personally have and still engage in all types of real estate investments, wholesaling, fixing and flipping. That is a daily chore in my office here. Private lending, building various real estate businesses. But for most rental properties are one of the best ways to achieve their financial and lifestyle goals. Why? For the reasons that just got listed on the screen. In fact, these reasons right here are the same reasons banks lend money to people like us to buy a home or investment property. Let me ask you this question, everybody. Have you ever walked into the bank and saw a mortgage department? Yes. Have you walked in the bank and ever saw a department for loans on stocks? Now, I'm not against stocks because I do have a portfolio, but as Dimitri was talking about earlier, there's one that's safe and sustainable, and there's one that's more volatile. And banks understand that, hence the reason why they don't lend money on stocks. Got it? All right. 90% of millionaires made their money in real estate. You know, real estate is a powerful lifestyle and financial tool. That stat puts it around 90% of millionaires have made their money through real estate. Most of Forbes' billionaire list still have their money in real estate, or they're now putting their money made from somewhere else into real estate to keep it safe and grow it. Think about it. Your favorite Facebooker, Mark Zuckerberg, makes a ton of money off of Facebook and he buys businesses, but he sinks his money for the long term wealth in the real estate. That goes for Warren Buffett, Sam Zell, Jeff Bezos, Larry Ellison, and so on. I mean, so you are definitely on the right track by being here this evening. And of course, history has shown real estate values to move more like this. I mean, back in 1950, you might have paid an average of $3,200 for a home. Now the average price is over $436,800 as the first quarter of 2023. And as of June 2023, the median listing home in Orange County, California, was over 1.2 million and trending up 11.3% year over year. Wait a minute, I thought the market's crashing. I thought it was all going down. Lack of inventory, lack of supply builds the demand, right? So, looking at the last 100 years, values have gone up and will continue to do so. And I doubt any of you believe average houses will be back at $3,200 anytime soon, unless you're in like Detroit. Unlike the stock market, where you can be totally wiped out when prices go down, you can't lose if you wait for prices to keep growing. Remember, that is just bonus money, everybody. It's gravy. It's the extra chocolate drizzle on your on your frappuccino. We're at a very pivotal time for finances and investments. Love or hate politics, it's one of the biggest factors impacting the global economy and markets over the upcoming years. We don't know exactly what the current presidency term will accomplish if they accomplish anything, but we do know under President Biden some major changes to business, taxes, and money markets are under its way. We do know that government has enhanced liquidity through stimulus packages from early 2021. We also know high inflation keeps increasing, especially when it hit the highest of this in summer of 2022, just a year ago. The nation's economy has clearly slowed from the annualized growth rate of 5.9% recorded in 2021. The fastest growth, or fastest rate of growth, I should say, in a calendar year since 1984. GDP increased at a much more moderate rate of 2.1% in 2022. Yes, We've seen some things getting better in regards to inflation in 2023, but I can tell you as a business owner, it's still tough, really tough. So, what can we expect? Is that this current window of opportunity could provide exactly what you need to restructure your portfolio or get it started and lock in some great returns. Specifically, we just, we got to see great things for real estate ahead, especially when it comes to mortgage payments and higher rents. Yes, people say, well, mortgages are high. Actually, mortgages are higher than what we've seen in the last 10 years, but historically, we're still below the average. The average has been like 7.8% historically. We're somewhere right around 7.4, 7.5. So we're still below. But should that stop you when you can earn a higher percentage on real estate and you come out ahead? No, it shouldn't. So, what I'd propose as the best way to take advantage of this current opportunity that I'm talking about is to put the 2010 plan into place, put it into action. What does this mean? That is acquire at least 20 rental properties within the next 10 years. And if you're already there, double it. And some of you saying, well, wait a minute, 20 properties in 10 years? I don't even have one. Well, you're probably making it too difficult for yourself. So stay tuned, listen up, because I'm going to make it easier for you. Okay. But before I do, I want you to imagine this. What if you had 20 rental properties right now, and each property throwing off just $500 net per month in passive income? You know what that is? That's $10,000 a month. That's $120,000 a year. That's 1.2 million over the next 10 years, and that's without rent increases. All being paid to you by your tenants. Now, it's not Bill Gates money, but it's not a bad start, is it? Now, this is a fun little calculator. It's a simple calculator. And so taking a very modest rate of appreciation of 5%, but historically it's like 6.1 or 6.2%. But let's use where it says interest rate, and right next to that it says appreciation rate of 5% per year. And let's say, for instance, the current principal that you see up there is $100,000. Let's just say you bought a $100,000 house, a house that's valued $100,000, and you got a mortgage on it for 30 years, but you hold it for 30 years, and then you got an appreciation rate of 5%. Well, today it's worth 100 grand. 30 years from now, it says it's worth $432,000. Now, is that enough retirement money? No, but this is only one house. Remember, we want to get 20 of these babies, right? Now, what's fun is you can check out a compound interest calculator just like this at MoneyChimp and play around with the numbers and figure it out and see what fits your lifestyle in regards to what you need. So let's think about this. So 20 rentals times this amount gives you over $8.6 million in net worth. Now, does that tell you that you've got enough retirement money? That's it. 20 rentals, affordable rentals, I should say, held at a very modest 5% appreciation rate over the next 30 years, project to be worth $8.6 million. Not bad, right? What's better is that it's unlikely that you'll ever need to spend it all. You are still getting all that rent each and every month, so handle it well. Like my attorney tells us, you can pass that legacy on to your heirs, or you can quadruple that as well. Your heirs, they can live off it, off the cash flow, while they pursue, college or other careers, or they can add to that portfolio by investing into another 20 rentals of their own. So that's $120,000 per year, 8.6 million in net worth. And that's not even beginning to be aggressive with acquiring properties or buying rentals undervalued or making value added improvements. That isn't even really factoring in the net tax and time freedom benefits of bringing in passive investment income versus earned income. I don't know how much you're worth, But those numbers should be exciting to most people online this evening, no matter how much money you've got, especially given the trajectory of the other investments that you might already have under your umbrella. There's millions of potential rental properties out there, everybody. Millions. Honestly. Affordable rental properties that's not going to break your pocketbook, that can get you where you need to be for financial retirement. And choosing one makes a huge difference. Some properties just don't work as rentals. Even among those that, do, there can be a big difference in performance. So I'm not talking about going out in California and buying $1 million house. I'm talking about going outside of California or whatever expensive primary state that you're in and buying affordable properties that are, 70, 100, $150,000 that produce great cash flow that gives you appreciation. So how do you pick the safest and most profitable properties to put in your portfolio to be able to get these type of returns? That's a good question, right? How do you pick these? Well, where's Black Belt Investors investing? Black Belt Investors has a program called Remote Rehabs. And Remote Rehabs is an arm to Black Belt Investors where we invest nationwide. It's an acquisition company that does all the rehabs to make properties turnkey. Now, I've done deals from Hawaii to Florida. And I'm not talking about one deal here, one deal there. I'm talking hundreds, if not thousands, of deals in every pinpoint location that you're looking at. We have investors coming from all four corners of the United States and abroad. One of our biggest clients right now or several clients are coming out of Israel. We're constantly monitoring and researching markets all over the US, looking for the ripest destinations for value and sustainable cash flow and wealth. We've been heavy in Phoenix, which we're still there today. We've been there since 1999. In fact, I rehabbed Dimitri's house about 10 years ago or so. He didn't buy it from me, but I took over and rehabbed it for him. So we've been heavy there. We still got properties there. We're still turning wholesale deals there. We're still turning turnkey properties there. We've done properties in Missouri, Texas, California, everywhere where you see a red dot. But we're really now focused on the Cleveland market and surrounding areas. We've been there since 2011 and opened it up to our network in 2013. Now, we went in, got our local team set up on the ground, tested it out with our own money, lost some money until we got it fine-tuned, and then started making some money, and then opened up the opportunities to investors just like you. And right now, Cleveland rocks and has a far better returns and more sustainability than any of these dots right here that you see on the map. So where are we at? Well, we're in Cleveland, which is Cuyahoga County. There's most pockets in Cleveland, but not all. We're also southeast in Warren and Niles and Girard, and we're also due south of Cleveland in Akron. Let me show you exactly what it looks like on a map. So you can see right here, I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. See all that blue stuff? That's not the sky, that's Lake Erie. And so you see a little red border right there. See that? That's outlining Cleveland proper. And then all the white area, if you can see my cursor, that is Cuyahoga County. But if we go, let me see here, there we go. So that's downtown Cleveland. And then from that point to Akron is about a 35-minute drive, 40 minutes with traffic. They don't have traffic like they have in Southern California. Okay, so we're down in there. We're also southeast over in the Warren, Niles, and Girard neighborhoods as well. And every pocket here, or every market that I'm working in, offers something different, and very much we have things that are similar in each market as well. So that's why it's important to consult and figure out which best fits in your portfolio. But why are we in these markets? It's growth, guys. Cleveland is the healthcare hub of over 60 newer hospitals and big biomedical industries. What am I talking about? They have over 600 biomedical facilities there and more being added each and every year. It's the fastest growing healthcare economy in the United States. Forbes rated Cleveland best places in the United States for business and careers 2022. All the millennials are moving there. The town has been reinvented for millennials. Why? Because of the medical and also because of the tech. Money Crasher, number one best city in America to buy home. Cleveland has the affordability index of 1 out of 10. Haven't you guys hear more and more about affordability properties? Affordable properties, affordability, affordability, affordable, right? That's why a lot of people went to ADAs and stuff like that. Or I'm saying ADUs, I'm sorry. It's about affordable and affordable where there's safe and sustainable, where there's growth, where there's employment, where we can bring up the values of properties, where we can bring up the rents. I mean, it is becoming one of the largest tech scenes between, Silicon Valley and New York. You know, they're saying that Cleveland is giving them a run for their money. So where do we invest? We like to focus in the inner suburbs and suburbs. So we have properties rent ready. That means clean, safe, code compliant, ready for a tenant, starting in the upper $70,000. That's right. Upper $70,000, probably the price of your Tesla, right? But one has appreciation and spits out cash to you every month, and one takes it all. Strong blue collar neighborhoods or better because we need an exit strategy. Property's got to be desirable in regards to the tenant, in regards to you, and in regards to the next buyer when you decide to sell, if you decide to sell. And it has to be affordable to all three parties, tenant, owner, and um, purchaser when you decide to resell as well. Here's the perks. For that price, starting price point, you get something that's turnkey, rent ready to go. You'll earn up to 8% cap rates. That's a measurement in the income. The higher the cap rate, the better income that you're going to be making. So if you live in Boston or New York or Florida, Texas, Arizona, or California and places like that, you're not going to see 8% cap rates. You might see a negative 8%, but you're not going to see 8% cap rates. And we can get properties rented in 3 weeks or less because there's such a demand. And right now it's a prime time to buy and hold. Let me show you a property that we recently did. So the outside, this is vinyl siding. We didn't have to do that, but we went and painted everything, spruced it up, um, put in a new storm door. That door was existing, just painted it. The inside, we put a new flooring. Listen, those were cabinets that were put in like 10 years ago. All we did is added a nice enamel to them. That backsplash and countertop was already there, so we didn't have to do anything. But we went in and spruced that whole house up. But it's a great little house. What's even greater? Look at these numbers. This house sold it to someone up north in Northern California for $100,000. It pulls in $1,100 a month, and it only costs that investor $20,000 using a loan. You got your taxes, insurance, vacancy, and maintenance factor, which most real estate firms leave out on purpose to make their numbers look good, but that's not fair. We plug them in. Property management is not at 10 or 12% like most managers in Cleveland. We have them at 8% so that you can earn an extra 2. So the net income for the year is 7,174, or monthly, nearly $600, right? Now, if you take that number, 7,174, and you divide it into $20,000 that you invested, you're earning 36% cash on cash. That, my friends, is making money. And this doesn't even include tax benefits or appreciation. That's just strict cash. So why you should invest in Cleveland? Steady economic growth, demand for rentals and rent income growth, equity growth, affordable for investors, home buyers, and tenants. And that's why we have a program called Remote Rehabs, the 100% hands-free, high-return way to effortlessly and confidently generate great cash in the best real estate markets in America. I mean, to me, Remote Rehabs is indisputably the easiest and most profitable solution for capitalizing in the current real estate market today, giving you the upper hand. So you're probably asking yourself, how does this turnkey operation benefit you? Simple, guys. We find it, we fix it, we get it rented for you, and you collect all the profits. Remote Rehabs was designed specifically to eliminate all the challenges that you have so that you can simply just enjoy all the best rewards of real estate investing. So, who qualifies? Who needs remote rehabs? Investors that need experience on their side, that lack time and research to rehab, that want a higher rate of return than what they're getting in their bank account. Investors that don't want to lift a hammer, but wants all the cash. Look, we find the profitable deal for you. Everything is personally tailored. So you can't go to our website and say, I'll take this house here. We consult with you, understand you, and then we go get the property that fits your criteria. We perform all the research for you. We run the numbers for you. We rehab the property for you. We project manage the property for you. We get the property rented for you. To me, we built the best power team that will work for you. Basically, we do all the legwork and you get all the profits. Take a look at this property here. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 889 square feet. The majority of properties in Northeast Ohio, which is Cleveland, are 2 bedrooms. And so when we get one that has an attic, we typically convert those into 30 bedrooms. So 2 bedrooms are very common there and desired. This is an $80,000 purchase price. It pulls in $10,800 in gross rent. You got all your expenses. Investors making $6,800 a year. That's an 8% cap rate. Because in this case, this investor paid all cash, didn't use a loan. So you take your $6,800 and divide it into the $85,000 purchase price, the money they invested, and they're earning 8%. And then if you want to get aggressive, then you do that famous Burr method, right? You buy it, you rehab it, you renovate it, you get it rented, you refinance, and you repeat and go buy another one and another one and another one. And you start putting your portfolio on steroids, but safely and sustainably. So here's what I propose, guys. The 2010 rental retirement plan, where you invest in 20 houses over the next 10 years. You want to see how it works? Here we go. Now, I'm not going to go through property A is one property. I'm not going to go through 20 properties, but I will use 5 and then I'll multiply it for you just to keep it simple, okay? So what you see on the white side of the screen, it says the purchase price of this property is $90,000, a loan of $72,000. Investor had to come out of pocket $19,000 for the down payment. It produces a gross monthly rent of $1,150. And then on the lime green side, you can see that the mortgage payment is $408. Taxes is $195 a month, insurance $47, vacancy and maintenance factor is 10% of the gross rents, so it's $115, and then $92 for the property management fee. So they're going to net $857 a month out of those rents. So you take $1,150 minus the monthly expense, that gives you $293 in cash flow. You divide that into the $19,000 and you've earned 44.3% cash on cash. Pretty damn good, isn't it? Now, $293 isn't going to get me to jump up and down because that's going to pay my, for my family mobile bill each month, but that's a bill that I've taken care of. Gone, right? All right, so now I'm going to speed this process up since you understand this screen here. We'll go to property B. This property is $78,000, pulls in $1,000 a month in rent, came with $15,000 down. You got $639 in monthly expense. So you minus that out of the income, and that is now producing $361 cash flow each and every month. And then you got property C, which is the third property, $85,000 purchase price, $1,000 income, $700 in expenses. Net cash flow comes out to be $300 a month, another 47% cash on cash. Again, are you going to earn 47% in your stock market? What about your retirement account? What about your bank account? No? Well, that's why you got to pull your money or move your money over to a solo 401k or self-directed IRA and start buying real estate. That's why you're here tonight. And then you got property D. More expensive property, $118,000, pulls in $1,300 a month, $950 in monthly expense, $350 a month in cash flow, 36% cash on cash return. And then the last property is earning $410 in cash flow each and every month, giving a 51% cash on cash return. These are real numbers, guys. Okay, not made up. Real numbers, real properties. So if we take all 5 properties, net cash flow each and every month, we've earned $1,714. Is that enough to retire on? No, it's not. But would you like to have an extra $1,700 a month each and every month in your pocket? Yeah, because that's just a little over 20 grand a year, isn't it? We can all use an extra 20 grand. Now, but here's what I propose, guys. Instead of spending the money on material items like spinning and rims for your B210 Datsun, consider this. Take the monthly income that you're receiving and attack the mortgage principal starting with the first property. I didn't say start with the largest loan or the smallest loan. I said start with the first property. And here's what it looks like. So we take that $1,700 monthly net income. Instead of spending it on something, we're going to attack Bank of America over here because they have a mortgage against our property for $76,000, and we want to eliminate that mortgage and that mortgage payment each and every month. So each property is producing this on the net side. We total it up. We make an additional principal payment on top of the $408 per month. And you know what that does? By applying that $1,714 a month, you are going to pay off that 30-year mortgage in 3 years and 1 month. Do you understand that? You're going to pay off that 30-year mortgage, not in 30 years, but in 3 years and 1 month, owning that property free and clear, which now gives you a total income of $2,122 because we don't have a mortgage payment, and that means our income increased. So now that we've got property A as a golden egg in our basket, we're going to move over to property B. So we take a look at Wells Fargo and say, hey, Wells Fargo, not liking you very much. Let's abolish that mortgage that you got against us. And now we're going to own 2 properties in 5 years, giving us a new monthly income of $2,453. Yep, same thing. We're going to go over to Chase Bank and get rid of Chase Bank by applying all this net income to get rid of that $68,000 loan. And by applying that principal to property C, you own 3 properties in 7 years, 1 month, free and clear. Property D, same thing, guys. We just get rid of this bank. You name your bank, okay? And so now we own 4 properties in 9 years, 9 months, increasing our income to $3,183. And we go and hit our final property, property number 5 or letter E. And we abolish this bank here, kick them to the curb. And now we've owned all 5 properties in 12 years, 8 months, giving you a new total monthly income of $3,600 that you get to put in your pocket. Is that amazing or what? But wait, there's more. You've paid off your 5 properties in 12.8 years. You now own these properties free and clear. Before we go any further, think about that for a minute. Think and say out loud to yourself, I own 5 properties free and clear. I own 5 properties free and clear. How good does that feel? That's your vision, guys. So we've got everything paid off. Now, the results are this. Most people stay on a 30-year mortgage, still making that stupid mortgage payment year over or month after month, right? But not us. We cut the mortgage term down 2/3 of its time and increased your income by 200%. You're making $3,600 a month. Still not enough to retire on, but it's better than that $1,700 a month, isn't it? So we didn't talk about value of your properties. Let's take a look. Value is 91, 78, 85, 118, $97,000. Total value is $468,000. Did you invest $468,000? No. You only invested 20%. Only $94,600. Now, what if I bought $468,000 worth of stocks? How much should I have to invest? $468,000. See the leverage between real estate and stocks? Initial investment of only almost $95,000, 20% down. Listen to this. If you get anything tonight, I want you to remember this. Appreciation is the quickest path to wealth. It's not cash flow, guys. It's appreciation. So when we're looking at properties, we got to make sure that we're buying properties that will appreciate for the long haul. Think about it. If you bought property 10 years ago and you were collecting cash flow every single month for the next 10 years, and then you take a look at the appreciation rate of the value that bought 10 years ago to today's value, which one has outpaced? Appreciation has, right? So we don't just focus on cash flow, focus on properties that offer cash flow and appreciation. So using the national average appreciation rate, which has been historically 6% equity build, 6% historically, but we're going to build some equity in this. And so if you build it in the first year, you take the value of the property, 468, multiply by 6%, you've earned $28,000. Now that's on paper, but it's $28,000, right? So you got a new value of almost $500,000, 4,000 just shy. But over 5 years, you earn 626. 10 years, you're at 838. 20 years, you're at 1.5, almost 1.6 calculated over 20 years using those 5 properties. And how many are we supposed to buy in the next 10 years? 20. So we can hit that 8.6 mark, right? So the 2010 plan deposits cash in your pocket every month and creates wealth at the same time. So what if you own 20 rentals using the 2010 plan? Think about that for a minute. Think about the numbers I just showed you. If we took 468,000 multiplied by 5, that's $2.3 million. That's 20 properties. But if you held these, you know, hold these over the next 10 years, the appreciation over 10 years becomes almost $4.2 million. Taking current value of 2.3, multiplying by 6% rate year over year for the next 10 years, you've gained 1.8 in equity through appreciation, plus equity buildup by loan principal paydown, giving you a value of $4,190,000 in real estate equity. Now we take the net rental income of $43,000 from your 5 properties, add 15 more properties for a total of 20 income producing doors, and you're going to earn an annual $216,000, which is also $18,000 a monthly cash flow. Can you retire off of $18,000 a month? Yes. And if not, then buy more properties. But again, how would that make you feel knowing that your tenants paid your mortgages, paid off your loans, and is depositing over $18,000 a month into your bank account? Can you afford not to start? Here's the top 6 benefits of the 2010 plan. In no particular order, all properties paid off in 2/3 of the time. And you have an annual income of almost $207,000 a year. To me, that is worth really investigating. Don't believe me? Run the numbers. Numbers don't lie. You own 20 properties free and clear. The projected value of the 20 properties over 10 years is almost $4.2 million. You now have options in life. Do I go to the in laws for vacation or do I go take a world tour? Options, guys. But you really want to know one of the biggest reasons why you're here tonight is the biggest benefit. And the biggest benefit is financial security. I don't know about you, but I know the majority of people on this webinar tonight are worried about financial security. It worries you. How are you going to pay for this? How are you going to pay for that? Do I have enough in my bank account? I don't have enough. How do I increase it safely and sustainably? Well, you must start your plan today if you haven't already done so. So here's what you're going to do. Number 1, schedule a consultation with Dimitri regarding his service on retirement and having access to your funds, and schedule a consultation with black belt investors about real estate acquisitions and retirement plans and how you can get involved. And if you want me, let them know that you are on the webinar through Dimitri's company and they will schedule you with me. Okay. Or anybody here can do. Secondly, invest in one or more properties per year. Now, I would like you to see you do it 2 per year if you're able. I don't want you to come and say, I want to buy 20 right now. No, no, no. This is the Iron Man competition. This is not a sprint. So we will pace ourselves and we will do that is whatever's safe for you. But if you can't do 2 or more per year, do at least 1 per year. Get your eyes focused on 1 per year and make it happen. And usually, if you apply disciplined investing, it will happen. And then, thirdly, use the cash flow to attack the mortgage principal. And that's assuming if you buy properties using a mortgage. Look at this house. Great little house, right? You didn't have to do much the outside, but just spruce it up with some paint. The inside, those are older cabinets. They're the original cabinets that were actually built, but they are solid wood in great condition. So what do? We just cleaned them up and repainted them. Had to put a new countertop on. Floor was existing, but it was in great shape. For us to keep the acquisition cost down low for you, we will repair what's repairable, replace that needs to replace. And if it doesn't, we're not going to, because going in and putting granite countertops and shutters, plantation shutters in the house will not increase your rents. Understand? Take a look at the bathroom. Beautiful, right? We just had to clean it up, put a new vanity and sink and toilet, new mirror. You know, tile was already there. Paint looks great. So what do the numbers look like on this, guys? $124,000 purchase price, down payment 20%, gross rents $1,300 a month. I'm seeing properties that are like $200,000, in Texas and Tennessee and places like that, and they're getting $1,300 a month. You can buy 2 for the price of 1 over there. Tax, all the expenses, earning a 7.8% cap rate. That's a 39% cash on cash return. If you like what I'm talking about, then I would say go straight to one of my websites called remoterehabs.com. Remoterehabs.com. Screenshot that, write it down, go right now. Don't leave the webinar though. Remember, I got a gift for you. And download the ebook because it will explain what I explained tonight, similar and in different angles as well. So download it and get it. It's an easy read. It's only like 12 pages, guys. So it's not going to, break your time. And then this is what I want you to do. Whatever you want. In my opinion, Cleveland's got it. More cash flow? Cleveland's got it. More passive income so that you can retire? Cleveland's got it. Better returns on your money, real wealth building, and proven destination for building a legacy? You can have it in Cleveland. So come, meet us in person in Cleveland. Check out the best property deals in the country, turn up your returns, enjoy the food and fun, and let us do the hard work so you can earn more. Or just pick up the phone and start adding more high return rental properties to your portfolio right now. So one of the absolute best ways to check out the new destinations and investments is to just get your boots on the ground with the Ultimate Investor Property Tour. We run 2 tours a year, but I got to be honest with you. We've cut it back since COVID. We only did 1 a year. So we had one last year in August. We're going to do another one coming up in September. And they're always selling out. Always. We always have to turn people away. It's the perfect way to discover a new city, get introduced to off-market deals, see the work in action, meet your local power team, have a lot of fun with other investors just like you. So for you to check out the next tour date and save your seat, go to blackbeltinvestors.com/events. And it'll give you all the details right there, where you can simply just give us a call at 951-280-1900. Now, I'm going to conclude this. And before I do, I'm going to give you just a few bullet points here that are going to wrap this up strongly for you. Okay. Then I'm going to talk about the gift that I'm going to give you. And if you have any questions, write them down. You have a Q&A chat box right there. And either direct the question to me or to Dimitri, and we'd be more than happy to spend some time with you. We'll spend approximately 10 minutes, and then we're out of here. Okay. All right. So the conclusion here is number one, get educated. Listen, you don't need to know everything about real estate. As I mentioned earlier, I don't know everything about real estate. But if you're going to focus on fix and flips, don't go get educated at some seminar teaching you about commercial properties. Focus on the fix and flip strategy. If you want to learn more about rental properties, then you learn more about rental properties. You need to have a foundation before you start spending your hard earned dollar. Otherwise, you're going to lose. And we don't want you to lose. But along with that, and since Dimitri was throwing out Bible proverbs and verses, I've got one for you. They tell, God tells Noah to delegate and to seek counsel. And I'm going to tell you the same. Seek counsel, get insight. Every professional sports player has a coach. They actually have more than one coach. Caught myself. They have more than one coach. The best players, not James LeBron, he's not the best, but the best players have coaches. Why? They're the best. To provide insight, different angles, different plans of attack to enhance. And with that, you can start developing a plan. And remember, your goal is to get 2 houses per month or at least one house per month. All it takes to get started is just one. And you'll learn that real estate is like how I treat a bag of chips. Once you pick up one, you're going to pick up another and get on the path to become financially secure. Now, because you attended tonight, I would like to offer you Black Belt Investors Real Estate Return on Investment Calculator. It's a simple tool for you to plug in the numbers to figure out if the property is a good one for you or not. And so if you like one, all you need to do is email us at invest@blackbeltinvestors.com. Let us know you're on the webinar, and we will email you the calculator. And you're going to have a lot of fun doing it. And it's going to open your eyes and probably show you a few things that, like, oh, you know what? I wasn't actually figuring this into my formula. And this makes sense. So if you want it, you got to email us and we will get it out to you. Okay. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Dimitri, are you still with us or did you fall asleep on us?
I'm here now. That wasn't a sleepy presentation, so kept me awake all time. Thank you, Sensei. And we do have a few questions first coming from Crystal. Can I invest in this program, Remote Rehab with 1031 exchange?
And the answer is yes. And I'll be honest with you, we have for remote rehabs, like I said, we don't have properties sitting on our website like other investment firms do. Other investment companies will go out and acquire properties, make them rent ready, and put them on their website, and they sit as stagnant inventory. And so, if you went to them and say, "Which property you think is best for me?" They're going to unload the properties that's been on the books the longest for them. That's not how we do things. We have no pressure sales or nothing. We consult with you first. We figure out what you want and what you need, and then we go acquire that property. What that results to is that we have investor queues. What does that mean? That means fancy word for saying you're in line. So depending on your price range and if you're acquiring it with a loan or 1031 exchange, or if you're coming with cash, we have these different queues. And so 1031s, we actually have to treat them a lot more time sensitive, as you're aware, if you're doing a 1031, because you have 45 days to designate properties. And then you have 180 days to actually close on the transactions. So we have to be very diligent. And so the answer is yes, you can use a 1031 exchange with this, but we obviously have to know that beforehand so that way we can kind of bump you up in front of the line just because of the time sensitiveness, and we don't want you to lose your tax benefits that come along with that.
Thank you. Another question. Do you hold some of the income to keep in case of emergency? And if so, how much do you recommend keeping
Yeah,
rather
great.
than just applying everything towards mortgage pay down?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So, yes, I know that I said on here that you want to apply the principal to the um, pay down of the mortgage payments. That's also with the assumption, and I don't want everybody to assume you should have a padding for each property. Now, the question is, how much padding should I have? And that's a difficult question to answer because it depends on the type of investment that you're purchasing. Is it a multi-unit, is it apartment, or is it a house? What's the quality of the neighborhood and the type of house? How big are these houses? Are they 2,500 square feet or are they 800 square feet? You know what I mean? Because we can measure the value, or we not the value. We can measure the expense by the square footage. And I can tell you right now, if you have 1,000 square foot home and you got to replace the flooring because the tenant moved out, you're going to be $2,500 right there just for the flooring. And if you got to paint the house, that's another $2,500. I'm talking about the interior. So now you're into it for 5 grand, right? Of course, you're going to get the security deposit back, so that relieves you of some of the expense. So depends on how deep your pockets are. If your pockets are shallow, then I would want you to hold at least 5 grand per property minimum for a vacancy or for a repair. If you have deeper pockets, then there's no reason to hold on to that extra cash. Uh, I would say apply it to the principal or use it for another investment or whatever you're going to use it for. So
Thank,
personally, I can tell you right now, for each of my properties, I only hold like $1,500 per property. I'm not worried about it so much as most people that are just getting started. But then again, I started in 1995.
you, Sensei. Another question: what is the property tax rate for investor? Is it the same for both primary and investment homes?
No, primary, you get tax exclusions. You get section 121 tax exclusion, which is huge. That means you can get $250,000 equity free without being taxed. And if you're married, then you get up to $500,000 equity free. So see, it's a good thing to be married, right? So, and to let you know, by the way, the current administration and several governments within the state are trying to get rid of that, which is a huge punch in the gut for us homeowners. You don't get those type of exclusions with rental properties. Now, I can't give you percentages because I don't know your income levels, and everybody's going to be classified differently. But someone mentioned earlier that they got a 1031 exchange. Now, under President Trump's capital gains, he dropped that all the way down below 20%. With Biden, they're trying to bring that up above 40%. So this is why it's important to understand where your taxes are at. And the best thing for you to do at that point is to get with your CPA to somebody, a CPA that understands real estate investing. Now, a lot of CPAs will say, hey, I understand real estate. No, they don't. I can quiz them and they won't know squat about it. So you really need to get together with someone and have them overview your tax returns and let them know where you're at, where you're going to be classified in taxes, because it will be treated differently for everybody. Now, on the flip side of that, when it comes to property tax on investments, then every city or county is going to have districts and they're going to have a different property tax rate. Okay, so for an example, in Cuyahoga County, which is basically encompasses all of Cleveland, you can have tax rates as low as 2% all the way up to 4%, depending on which city you're buying in. So that's another thing that you need to research. Or if you're buying through us, we've already got it researched and can tell you what it is. So I hope that helps. I know I didn't answer your complete question, but I don't have the authority to answer the complete question.
Gotcha. Thanks, Sensei. A question from Miriam. Is Ohio landlord-friendly state?
Hey, Miriam. The answer is yes, to a point, like every state. We're finding that more and more states are leaning to tenant friendly. Now, I sold my last California rental back in 2018 because California is not landlord friendly. So I moved my money more into conservative states where they are landlord friendly. Cleveland or Ohio in general is a landlord friendly state. It typically takes about $700 to evict somebody, and eviction takes about 6 weeks. Now, you try that in California, that's just not going to work. So they will, meaning the government or the magistrate in Ohio will exhaust every avenue looking at the tenant's benefit. But if the tenant's not paying, if they're negligent towards the property, if they're a deadbeat, then they're going to get them out. You can expect within a 6-week period. And then what they'll do is if the tenant's not out, then after that 6 weeks, the courts will send the police or sheriff department and they will move everything out of the house and they will lock the doors and set everything on the front sidewalk. So a little bit more strict than your more uh, uh, states like California and Washington and Oregon and places like that.
Gotcha. Thanks, Sensei. We have a last question from Kathy. She's asking, are these homes single family without HOA?
Yes. Yeah, I have not. I've only encountered a few areas in the Cleveland market that have an HOA, and those typically are townhomes. And they don't have a lot of townhomes over there. They do have pockets where they were building townhomes, but and we've only done a few. I would easily say just barely over a dozen townhome condos over in the Cleveland market compared to over 500 properties that we've done on the Cleveland market. But yes, single family is what you're looking at. We used to do a lot of multifamily apartments there, but those are gone. I mean, investors have gobbled them up. They're not letting them go. If you find anything that's available, it's either going to be way too expensive and overpriced, but the majority of the availability when it comes to multi units and apartments are going to be in neighborhoods that you would not feel safe walking in.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, Sensei, for a wealth of information, and thank you all the participants for the questions. Thank you for joining us. If you guys want to have a consultation with Sensei or his team, reach out. You see the phone number there and your website. Our next webinar is scheduled for August 2nd, and we're going to be talking about non-recourse financing. Again, thank you for joining, and you all have a good night.